Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TXL Shots Toxic Love Podcast. I'm your host, Angel, and I'm here with my boys, Greg
What up?
and my boy Rob. And today, gentlemen, we got some topics to talk about when it came to the divisional playoffs that happened and to predict our NFC/AFC championship games. And just to give a recap, gentlemen, I want to give a brief summary in my opinion about the games. You know, we had the Seattle 49ers. I mean, belt to ass.
Yep.
That's the best way to describe it. Just pummeling. We had the Rams versus the Bears. We had Stafford taking down the Iceman. Sad to say, taking down the Iceman. And then the other game that we had was Patriots and Houston Texans. And honestly, C.J. Stroud playing and looking like a blobfish out of water. You know,
Jesus.
and last but not least, we had the Bills versus the Broncos, which for Josh Allen, I don't know what's worse: seeing them flags be thrown around or watching Haley Steinfeld be thrown around in centers. I'm tired. So, gentlemen, I want
That's
to
harsh.
start. I want to start with the first.
The disrespect.
Superman ain't Superman in that day, gentlemen. Uh,
Actually,
first, let's
matter of
start off
fact,
with
I'm gonna
the
put something up on the screen really quick. All right, go ahead, Angel.
gentlemen. I just want to talk about let's start 49ers in Seattle. And Greg, I want to start with you since you're a Seattle boy. What we thinking? How are we
Uh,
feeling about that
I
game?
mean,
Are
it
too
was.
easy or
I wouldn't say it was too easy. I mean, it was unfortunate that the 49ers' entire roster was hurt. Kittle got hurt last week. Um, I mean, Purdy tried to do what he could with the offense. The defense was playing pretty well up until they had to play Seattle the third time. Divisional rival game. I mean, like Angel said, it was straight up belt ass. I mean, realistically, the game was over at the kickoff. I mean, Saeed uh, ran it back, and even if the Rams, oh, I'm sorry, not the Rams, the Seahawks didn't score any more points, the game would have been 7-6. I mean, the only thing the 49ers knew were field goals. Defense played really well. For my Seahawks, I mean, it was just straight up annihilation on the 49ers. And my boy Sam did his thing. He played offense. He was gunslinging it out there. He didn't do really too many bad turnovers. Incompletions weren't too bad. And I mean, ain't really much else to say. I mean, the game was over at the start as soon as the kickoff went. So
Mhm. Rob? What we thinking, man? How we feeling about that game? Too easy or just they got the job done? What we thinking, man?
Let me make this very, very, very crystal clear. I told y'all what was going to happen, and it happened. The 49ers finally ran out of luck. They met the end of the road, and it was straight belt to ass. It was not a game. It never was going to be a game for all you 49er fanboys out there thinking, oh, this is our year. Y'all starting to sound like the Cowboys fan base again. We got Big Cock Brock, this and that. 49er gang. Blah, 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 blah. I'm so sick and tired of hearing it. I'm so glad y'all got a big taste of humble pie this weekend. Like y'all said, it was straight belt to ass. Like I said before, end of the road for the Niners. What it boils down to is they just ran out of bodies at the end of the day. You can only go so far with all your starters being out, backups serving, backups going out. You literally saw it on the first drive of the game when the Niners were going down the field. Kyle Shanahan's a creative coach, but whenever you're going to be running a speed option with Brock Purdy and Kyle Juszczyk as the pitch man, a fullback. Now, granted, Kyle Juszczyk is him, but when you got to come out to that creativity, that just shows me you have nobody left. And Seattle snuffed it out. And like Greg said it, the game was over from the kickoff. You have Rashid Shaheed. I'm still ticked off that the Saints let him go, but I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. I'm glad he's thriving in Seattle. He deserves to go to a winner because all the dude did for us was ball when he was healthy. They set the tone early. They punched San Francisco in the mouth. They never got up off the mat and they put their foot down on their throat and they never took it off. There really isn't much more to say about this game. The defense was flying around just like I thought they would. Sam Darnold managed the game like what they asked him to do. Don't turn the ball over, make your plays when they're there, hand the ball off to Walker and Charbonnet, and let the defense eat. Now, we'll get into this when we preview the championship games, but it just sucks that y'all got dealt a massive blow with Charbonnet tearing his ACL. But in my honest opinion, I think y'all will be all right. Kenneth Walker is a beast. The O line is playing well. As long as y'all can get the run game cranked up, I don't think y'all miss a beat.
Yeah, going off of that, I mean, I remember watching it on the couch on Fox, and as soon as they were above 20 and seeing the way 49ers play, I'm like, yeah, go to bed, see the score in the morning. Sure enough, it's the score of the 41 points. Was it 6 or 9? I don't remember. I think it was 6, right?
Yeah, they
6,
had
right? Yeah.
2 field
So,
goals.
and I'm like, yeah, it's just there's nothing really to talk about. I mean, they 49ers made a good
Their
run in my
luck ran
opinion.
out. They had way too many
Yeah.
injuries to keep on playing.
Oh yeah. I agree on that. And that they got to the division round, so that's the best they can do.
Exactly what the
Yeah.
coach usually gets to. So,
Gentlemen, another game we got to talk about, and we'll go to the AFC this time. I want to talk about the Houston Texans versus the Patriots, and I I don't I in my opinion, what I've seen and watching and all that, like, and I gotta ask you too, like, does this game now have to be considered, aka like the Texans fan base slash the Texans organization have to think about Stroud still being there after this performance? I mean, I don't know, was it 6 turnovers and 4 to 5 of them were because of him?
was it?
Like it was
I'll
Stroud
just
did
put it
not
to
look
you
ready.
plainly. He's got 10 turnovers in 2 playoff games this postseason alone. That tells you all you need to know right there.
I did not know that. I,
I mean, to piggyback off of that, it's hard for me because it's like if you look at both postseasons, his entire offense has been annihilated. He's missed Tank Dell both seasons. Nico Collins was out. Pieces were not there. Running backs weren't there. So, in a sense, do I give him a little leeway? Yes. But I mean, the amount of turnovers that you have done just this postseason alone is not good. I was speaking about this off camera with some people. Rob knows. Ever since he tried to pull Caleb Williams aside, I mean, the dude has been just playing utterly bad. He said on I don't know which podcast, but he was on another podcast and he was literally calling himself a top 5 quarterback in his rookie year, I think it was, or it might have been them just recently released this. I don't know exactly when it was said.
At the conclusion of his rookie season, he said in the league right now he's a top 5 quarterback, which is just asinine. Dude, you played 1 year.
Yeah. So I mean, within that year, the way that year went, yes, I would say so. But I mean, again, the way that that season went, um, he was playing great. He's been in the playoffs all 3 years, but you can't always continue to use the injuries as an excuse. And the turnovers that you were doing was just terrifying. And then not even that, I mean, he took out his tight end, blowing out his ACL with a horrible fucking throw. So I mean, he was really throwing to 2 people that don't even really get to touch the field. So
Yeah,
yeah,
this game was just another sloppy, nasty, poor game to watch if you want to look for offensive football. Defensively, turnovers aside, another great performance turned in by this Texans defense. They were flying all over the field, making plays left and right, causing havoc, creating turnovers. And yet again, they get let down by piss poor offensive play by their quote unquote franchise quarterback. Both teams' offenses, for that matter, did not look good. I know a lot of people were saying that, it's kind of between Drake May and Matthew Stafford. I've been on record saying Matthew Stafford's winning the MVP. Drake May had a good regular season, but you compare the two side by side, he does not even sniff Matthew Stafford's regular season. I'm sorry. With that being said, New England has not been that impressive in this postseason. They have not. And they were in contention for the number one seed. Through two playoff games, they have not impressed me one bit. They have done just enough to get by both of their opponents, albeit you can make the argument. The Chargers have a beat up offensive line, and we know Herbert just has not performed that well in the playoffs when he's made it. And then you get to this weekend, Stroud looks like a shell of himself from his rookie year, and he's continually continually regressing and showing signs that he's not even developing year to year. He just looks bad. And I'm sorry. If you're going to play in the NFL, you have got to protect your biggest asset, and that's the football, especially in the playoffs. That is the number one pet peeve I have. If you're going to turn the ball over 5 times one game, 5 times in another, you're begging to lose. And on top of all that, when your offense is playing like absolute dog shit, and you can't take care of the football one, and you can't take advantage of short fields when the defense is giving it to you on a silver platter, I'm sorry, for one, you either need to take a long look in the mirror, be relegated to the bench, or that franchise as a whole has to take a long look at some pen and paper and think, do we want this guy long term? Do we want to shell out 40 to 50 million a year just to deal with this in the playoffs? Because at this point, if I'm in the Texans front office, GM ownership, I say maybe give him one more year, but I am definitely not giving him his 5th-year option on his rookie deal if he plays like this again. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's inexcusable. You cannot turn the ball over this much and consider yourself. Obviously, he can't consider himself the elite of the elite. I mean, I said when he said himself he was top 5, that was just asinine. But if anybody's even trying to say this dude is still a top 10 quarterback in this league, they are sadly mistaken. Just stats from the game. I mean, he had a less than 50% completion percentage. The dude threw 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 interceptions in the first half. That is inexcusable. You got sacked 3 times. You lost another fumble this week, so 5 turnovers in all. And the most interesting stat of this game was he had a QB rating of 28. 28 in a playoff game. Mind you, for all of you people that don't know this, you can literally drop back the pass and spike the ball every single play and still have a higher QBR than what he did. That tells you all you need to know about this game. He played like shit. He has wasted a generational defensive season that the Texans, they have dogs at every level on that defense. And like I said, they played another great game. They gave him multiple short fields. They forced punts. They forced 2 more fumbles. They had an interception. They sacked Drake May 5 times, and they forced 8 punts. I don't know how much more you can ask of a defense for the offense just to do the bare minimum. And I'm going to go on record and say, just like Dan Orlovsky did, pretty much any other quarterback in this league, the Texans win that game. Plain and simple. And going out of this game, the only thing the Patriots did was outrush them by like over 50 yards. But the Patriots were 3 of 14 on 3rd down. They did not play well. They did enough on defense, and their offense did just enough. So as far as I'm concerned, ugly, sloppy game. Uh, Texans should have won if they had better quarterback play, and I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Y'all, just real quick. Most of the interviews for the Texans team are backing up Stroud. Do you think that's just to save face, or it's just like
Yes
there's
and
there's
no.
there, there, there-
Yes and
there's
no.
shit
Yeah.
going on in the background? Like if I'm a defensive guy and I'm working my ass off to one, not slip in the snow and possibly hurt myself, and to cover these people, cover the players, and then it's like my quarterback is just not doing his job. It's his 3rd year. Like at that point, in my opinion, I know like most the coach was protecting him, like, oh no, we got his back. But I feel like as a defensive player, you kind of got to say, man, I just busted my ass off, and my QB ain't doing his part, especially what's going on. So
Yeah, I spoke to Greg about this off camera. that I tip my hat to his teammates and his coach for going on the mic and sticking up for him. That's what a teammate should do.
Yeah.
But behind closed doors, if they're not telling him, they're thinking it. Like, dude, we
Oh
we,
yeah,
we
of
just
course.
busted our ass for you. You can't give us more than this. Like, come on.
The
There's
team's
a group
not
chat.
trying to create another Eagle situation like AJ Brown. I mean,
Correct.
that's the best way to put it. Uh, but again, like I said, I think they also know that their offense was pretty damn beat up, and then losing uh their tight end, I believe, correct, in the first
First
quarter.
quarter.
First quarter. I mean, and then when you're thrown to nobodies, not called to nobodies, they're in the NFL, but when you have not your best pieces, in my mindset, yes, I would be upset, but I mean, you're working with what you got. Should he have played better ball and not thrown those 4 picks? Absolutely. But I mean, there's other teams that we can talk about that are pretty much in the same situation. Like, look at, not to go off topic, but look at the Titans. Their offense is really not that bad. It's just their O line is bad, and then people got hurt. So
I mean, you can make the same argument for the Niners too, but I don't
exactly, the
put
Niners
Stroud.
would have put up a better fight if they would have had a
Right.
more healthy roster. If Kittle was there, they probably would have scored more than 6 points realistically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Now,
just thinking.
however, I will say this. I think Brock Purdy is better than Stroud. He sure wouldn't have turned the ball over like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Stroud has shown a tendency to just turn the ball over, and I'm sorry, I don't want that as my quarterback.
Oh yeah. All right, gentlemen. Now another game that happened on the NFC was the Bears versus the Rams. Cardiac Bears almost happened, especially in that last throw to Komet, but sadly it didn't go out. It didn't go as planned. A lot of debate in Chicago right now going on with that.
Mm-hmm.
And just Stafford came and was able to take down the Iceman.
Mm-hmm.
Able to take him down. So,
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, gentlemen, I think that was a good game. I think we could have seen a different outturn, but a lot of mistakes by the Bears. Ben Johnson, Caleb, and debatable right now, DJ Moore, but we'll get into that later. But Rob, I'll start with you. You look very enthusiastic to talk about it. So
Oh,
come
you
on,
best believe I am.
I want to
Because
hear
I've
it.
been
Let me hear
chomping
it.
at the bit all week waiting for this reaction. After all that mess you talked, all that shit you gave us backing up your man, the Iceman. First of all, there's
The
only one
Iceman.
Iceman, and his name is Chuck Liddell. Okay? Caleb Williams ain't no
Debatable.
Iceman. That ain't no debatable because Mr. Iceman just got defrosted in Chicago. You watched it Saturday night, or was it
I did
Sunday night?
not.
Whatever the day was,
Sunday
I don't care. But all kidding, all jokes, and all that
night.
BS aside, that was probably my favorite game of the weekend yet again, simply because it was an old school, tough, gritty game in the snow. Not well, I mean, it was snow, but it
No, yeah,
wasn't a
snowing towards the end.
snow game.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams looked great on their opening drives. Caleb drove his team right down the field. Uh, Arguably should have had a touchdown on the first drive. Rome Odunze had the ball hit him dead in his hands. I don't know why the hell the dude didn't catch it.
It was nippy.
Inexcusable if you ask me. They settle for three, and then Matthew Stafford takes his team right down the field. They score a touchdown. After that, the defense is pretty much settled in after they traded blow for blow. The story of this game for me was surprisingly earlier in the week. I mean, I know I was on record picking the Rams. I thought the Rams would have pretty much had their way with this defense. I was mistaken. Story of the game was the Bears' defensive ability for 4 quarters. They played lights out. They were making plays everywhere. Jaquan Brisker had a great game. Kyler Gordon had a great game. Montez Sweat was getting pressure in the backfield. Uh, they got stops when they needed it. They forced several punts. They tackled well. And quite frankly, the Rams' offensive scheme, they were jumbled for the better part of 4 quarters. Stafford didn't really know what he was looking at, and at several times on camera, you could tell him and Puka and Devonta, they were flustered. The only thing they really had going for them was the run game at times, but when it would get down to those third and shorts, the Bears knew what was coming and they would stuff it. And I mean, you haven't really seen that all year from this Rams offense. They just did not know what to do. Um, like I said, for 3.5 quarters, they traded shots back and forth. And then in the fourth quarter, getting down to clutch time, you give Stafford the ball. He drove his team down the field for a touchdown, got the lead. And then when the pressure was on, Caleb answered with his own. Now, granted, I've been on record, I don't like Caleb Williams, but I will tip my hat to him. The dude stayed poised, even though he did not have that great of a game. He was yet again missing throws left and right that he probably shouldn't. Some of those were on the receivers, ideally Colston Loveland, because I mean, Loveland balled last weekend, but this weekend he had a decent game, but he could have made several more plays. He
4 for
he
10.
dropped a lot, dropped quite a bit. But on that fourth down, man, I talked to Greg about this earlier in the week. I'm I will sit here and say today that I don't think there's a quarterback that has a better arm in the NFL right now than Caleb Williams, strictly because of what that play I saw. Now, people might come at me crazy and say, "Oh, well, Josh has a cannon of an arm. Patrick Mahomes has a cannon of an arm." Well, let's be real here. Patrick Mahomes ain't made a throw like that in the entirety of his career. Pedaling on his back foot, throwing it full force. What was he? 30 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
I think he's behind the
And they were
40.
at the 27. So he was damn near at the like 45, 50-yard
Yeah.
line. And he just chucked this damn thing up and it lands right in the tight end's arms for a touchdown to tie the game. I told Greg, I'm like, dude, this is insane. I have never seen a quarterback make that kind of throw in my life. The only ones you can make the argument that could do it are Josh and Patrick, but I haven't seen it. Now, granted, do they both have stronger arms than him? Like possibly throwing the length of the field? I mean, possibly so. But making that play in that situation, that was just uncanny. So I tip my hat to them. They set themselves up to go into overtime, but that's the problem with Caleb, and that's the problem I have with this game. Caleb has a tendency to make the great plays, which they're like what, 2, 3, 4 a game. He makes the great plays that don't make sense. But the routine plays is where he's 50-50 on. He's too inconsistent for my liking, and he needs to dial that in. Now, we have seen remarkable improvement from year one to year two under Ben Johnson in that regard. But he still shows those hints and tendencies of it. And I will say this, if he can keep Ben Johnson with him for a good part of his career, which I'm sure he'll be there for the long haul, and Caleb can continue to develop, this dude could be a problem because Ben has shown to develop their quarterback from year to year, and he's done a great job with him in year one. Uh, like I said, tip my hat to the Bears and Caleb for fighting back. Uh, but the Rams did just enough to survive in this game, move on to the NFC Championship, and set up a rubber match with the Seahawks. Puka got held in check for a good part of this game, which I was thoroughly surprised. He only had 5 catches for like 56 yards, but dude came in big when they needed him on that overtime drive when Stafford finally dissected that little mid blitz form that the Bears kept showing at him. Uh, all in all, the Bears did outgain them total yards wise. They outrushed them. They were 9 and 19 on third down, but the story of the game, again for me, is they were 3 of 6 on fourth down. And that leads me to my next point. At what point are we going to jump these coaches' asses for trusting analytics way too much? Because when you get into the playoffs, you guys both know points are at a premium, they don't come easy. When you have a chance to secure points in the playoffs, you've got to take it. I understand taking chances, I totally get it. But at some point, enough has to be enough, and you just have to take the three. I mean, they left what, 9, 12 points out there just by going for the
12
four
points.
downs repeatedly.
12 points.
So think about it. You keep the 12 points, you win the game.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
So what it really boils down to, I mean, you can pin this loss on whoever, but I'm gonna say the blame is kind of gonna go on the head coach because he's the one that made the decision to go for it. And you do have. I don't care what you say, Angel. I've done watched numerous videos and I've done seen a lot of people talk about it. When you break down that overtime interception that Caleb threw, that set up the Rams for their game-winning field goal, I'm not pinning that on DJ Moore simply because, as a quarterback, you look at the play art and the concept. You have a middle safety looking dead at Caleb. He's seeing everything he's doing. You have DJ Moore basically running a deep dig route across the field. Once that safety was taken with the cornerback to his right, the safety is dialed in on DJ Moore. So he's literally got both of them in his sight. Caleb sees him clearly. You cannot make that throw when you see the safety breaking on that ball. You just can't. Now, you can make the argument that it's DJ Moore's fault for carrying it extra vertically and not looking for the football. But for all we know, the ball wasn't designed to go to him, A. And B, Caleb, as a second year starter, you just can't make that throw. I'm sorry, you can't. You can blame who you want, but bad play call, bad QB decision, whatever have you, it cost the Bears their season. And like I said, they very easily could have won this game, but they didn't. So it is what it is.
All right,
What we
well,
thinking, man?
Rob, I mean, pretty much carried and covered a lot of that. I'll say this: we all know how much I hate Caleb, but I do not blame Caleb at all this entire game, except for that last interception. His entire team sold him. Nobody was catching the ball, and I'm talking. I look, me and Angel watched that game. We may
Oh
have
yeah, we
some
did.
clips to put that up for you guys later, and we watched it together. When I tell you, I've never been more impressed of a QB. The way that he made that sidearm throw, and I'm talking baseball fastball. And now it almost got picked off, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But the fact that he was able to make that throw and get it out sidearm, in a sense, Patrick Mahomes style, and not even Pat whips the ball like that. Pat can get it out. He's the one that we've seen, in a sense, kind of start this legitimate full on sidearm throw. But the way that Caleb threw that ball was just immaculate, and I've not seen that before.
It was
Of the
so
many
good.
careers of QBs that we have watched, that has not been done. Running, taking the full on hit,
Laser.
unlike most QBs who will, in a sense, slide, try to run out. Caleb ran for the first down on that fourth down run, I believe, third down run, got the
Yes,
first
sir.
down, took the hit. I mean, Caleb tried. He almost got the job done. He did it. Realistically, if we had a better DB out there, I don't think that ball would have been caught in the end zone. To start off with that, uh, as much as you can hate or love Talib, he said it. A grade A corner would not let that pass go off.
No.
Yes, you can say there was a little push off on both ends, whatever the case may be, but you're not going to allow yourself to get pushed off and then you're going to continue to walk forward and not even take a chance to step back for the ball.
Yeah, like you said, you just in that instance you don't disengage. You stay with him step for step. Why are you taking 5 steps forward?
Yeah. And then, I mean, I don't know if it was because they were cold. Maybe they just, I mean, but here's another thing. The Rams, we're going to get into it. I'm just going to talk about it a little bit right now. The Rams, all playoffs, have gotten worse and worse. Defense aren't even making tackles anymore. I'm talking people are just standing there watching people run into them and or just go by them. The tackling from the Rams also made this game a little too close than what it should have been. If they were making tackles, and I'm talking not open field tackles, but in a sense open field tackles when they were running the ball. I mean, the D linemen and the linebackers got in there, but I'm talking like when you have these runs or these little the um the slants that Caleb was throwing. I'm talking like the corners weren't even on the receivers. They're letting them catch the ball and then run an extra 5 yards, for Christ's sake. The Rams got to play better. I don't know if it was the cold. Who knows what it really was? But I've been seeing that almost all the back end, the last 3, 4 games from the Rams.
The last month of the season and carrying on into the playoffs. Yep.
It's been pretty bad. But like I said, I mean, Caleb impressed me. Still not a fan, but he officially, I will say,
He
he
will
has
be
my
one day.
respect. Never,
Yeah, one day. Yeah, no,
never.
it's coming. It's
It will
coming.
never happen. I
Wait, what did you say, Angel?
He says I will be a Chicago Bears fan, or I'm sorry,
Well,
a Caleb
a
fan.
Caleb fan.
Oh,
Caleb fan, not a
hell
Bears
no.
fan. Not a
It's
Bears
coming. It's
fan, a
coming.
Caleb fan. I am from
Hell
Chicago,
no.
but I just unless you are the Chicago Sky, I don't mess with Chicago teams. You know I'm from here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I bash my
I
Sky
just
too. I mean, we need to get rid of Andrew Reese. I said it. I don't care. HVL,
look,
we should build around her. So, but Reese does have points. I mean, we're going off topic, but Reese has points. They need to build this team better. So,
No,
anyway.
fuck her and her me bounds.
Oh Jesus! All right, Angel.
I look. I think it was a good game. I think as a Bears fan, we got as far as we could. Look, we played a good game. We played the hell out of it within the conditions, and for sure, next season needs to be learned. We need to take lessons from this defeat, and I think honestly, next year, the Bears could be in the NFC Championship. It's like this game was just small mistakes between Ben Johnson, Caleb, and again, it could be debatable right now with more, but we just got to go from here from off season.
But going off on what you just said, though, hold on. Before you try to go past that, we don't know what the Vikings are going to be. I can kind of see them still having a bad season.
Until they get quarterback situated.
Put belt to ass both games. So that's 2 losses again for next year. Don't care what you say. And you guys, unless Caleb does his Iceman thing again, you guys are splitting with Green Bay.
He's coming colder and cooler than ever.
You guys
don't you worry, buddy.
Green Bay.
Because let's face it, Green Bay still owns y'all ass.
Oh, delicious.
I agree with that, Rob.
Time for
but
change
Aaron
is
ain't
now.
there. Aaron ain't there to take it.
No, he ain't there no more.
Aaron is not there, and I'm sorry, Jordan loves him, but you got to work on that, bud. Got to work on that.
I think McMillis would be better facing the Bears.
I don't know about that. That's
anyway. Anyway, let's move on to the Buffalo versus Broncos. No, we gotta move on. Another topic.
We ain't gonna let that shit slide.
Anyway, listen. Broncos and Buffalo.
I'm not no Jordan Love fan, but Malik Willis.
I think that was their second quarterback, right?
Yeah, they're backup.
Listen, he was going good. That one game. Listen,
he did have a good year. When Jordan Love was out, he was having a good year.
So
I'll give him that. But I know we're going off topic here, but I need to get this thought out. I hate the fact that we live in this day and age where, like, don't get me wrong, I know quarterback is the most important position on the field. As much as I hate to admit it, even though it's a team game, I just hate how quarterbacks get over glorified. With that being said, I'm hearing numerous people on like ESPN, Fox, and shit talking about, oh, well, if a team wants to sign Malik Willis to be their starting quarterback, oh, he's easily going to get 40, 45, 50 million. What are we talking about? A guy who was what was he, a third, fourth, fifth round pick, whatever, in whatever draft he was? He comes in, he plays well for 6, 7 games. And y'all want to sign this man to a $40 million a year contract?
Do you know why?
No.
Though? See,
I know that's the market. I know. I know.
Right.
But it's stupid to me. It's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, technically, when we're really going off topic. I'm sorry, Andrew.
Yeah,
hold on. Last thing. But like how you were saying Stroud was gonna get if they take his 5th-year option, I mean, if he has a bad year, he technically won't get the market price. Just saying.
Oh well, no, of course not. No.
But if he has an okay year, yeah, he'll get the market price. But that's another topic. Go ahead, Angel.
No, I'm not paying $40 million a year for somebody that has 10 turnovers and 2 playoff games. To hell with that.
All right, gentlemen. Last game. Buffalo versus Broncos. Now that game was something else, baby. There's gonna be a
Something
lot
else
of
ain't the word.
discussion, but listen, I don't really to give my short summary of it. I don't see the game that happened with Josh. There should be no excuse, even at before the overtime. Five turnovers, doing a lateral ghost pass to God knows who. If he thought, it just. I honestly think that, especially without Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, like there's a lot that went wrong before the OT. Even again, a lot of controversy with the flags, the interception being thrown. Like there's gonna be a lot of debate, especially during the offseason, I think, with the NFL and that rule. But this was Josh's year, and honestly, and even the post interview, he was crying. His teammates were crying. Like I give him credit, like the passion that he had and how he felt. Like for sure, that was something that, and I love to see that. I love to see that as much as I was just trolling him in the beginning, but that's just my opinion. I think Broncos deserved it. They did what they had to do, and especially the Bo Nix situation. The little girl on TikTok cursed him. She picked him, and then all of a sudden said, "Nah, I'm going for Buffalo." So, and that was the end result. Is that now he has a broken ankle and he cannot play in this or AFC Championship. So, Greg, I'll start with you this time. What are we
Uh,
thinking? How
I
we feeling?
mean, Josh threw for 283, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 4 turnovers. I mean, he did what he could. I'm gonna keep this really short, but I blame. It comes down to the coach and Josh. Josh knew what he had. Kind of situation, same situation though, as in a sense, kind of the 49ers, their team, the Bills team wasn't really hurt. Their defense is just straight up ass. They should have never been in the playoffs in the first place. Um, it's just going to get harder. Pat's going to be back sometime next year. Even after that year, he'll be back. The Jags are getting better. The Patriots are not going anywhere now at this point. They're a year ahead of time. I mean, if there was a time to get a ring, to win a Super Bowl, this was his year, and he failed. There's a lot of talks that he didn't do anything wrong. They're all saying that it's the coaching, the offense, not him wise. I mean, they had a chance to get Jalen Waddle. They didn't want to give up the 2026 first round pick. I get it. They tried to give the 27. They wanted the 26 to Dolphins. I would have never done it either. But firing the head coach was probably their biggest decision that they could have made. They should have got rid of the GM. They promoted him actually to oversee the coaching now. Um, so I'm not sure who's going to be the GM. I mean, the biggest issue is that he was a defensive minded coach. Why is your defense this ass? That's all I'm going to leave it off as. I get it. You're not an offensive minded guy, so the offensive picks weren't always there. But you had nothing but a bunch of old ass corners. Your defense was damn near as bad as the Rams defense with not even tackling. They didn't even care. They were just watching people run past them. Like this is pee wee ball. So yeah, go ahead, Rob.
I got a lot of thoughts on this game. Uh, it was a great game until it wasn't. One of those classic playoff games you really think back on and look back on. Uh, Stats wise for the game, the Bills won the time of possession. They outrushed Denver 183-70. They were 10 of 15 on third down. But the big takeaway in this game is the turnovers. They turned the ball over as a team 5 times. Denver turned it over once. 3 fumbles, 2 interceptions. One controversial. I'll get into that in a little bit. And another thing, Josh was sacked 3 times. Bo Nix wasn't even touched. What it boils down to Two for me is I'm a big Josh Allen fan. I believe all three of us are. I love the way the dude plays the game. There's a reason why they say he puts a Superman cape on, but at some point you got to call a spade a spade. If there was ever a year to get his ring or at least make a strong attempt at it, it was this year. You didn't have to worry about Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in the playoffs, your nemesis. You didn't have to worry about Joe Burrow and the Bengals. You didn't have to worry about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. It was literally you, a bunch of unproven quarterbacks in the playoffs, and you with your lack of talent people around you, but you're still able to, cope with that because we've seen it in the past. And he still couldn't get it done. It's I I don't want to sound like a guy that makes excuses for him, which I mean you can probably make that argument in the past, but at some point enough is enough. This was your year. As bad as the defense was, he was able to overcome that at times. Hell, I find the defense played well enough in this game for them to win the game. He has shown a tendency in the playoffs when the moment gets big, does he make the plays? Yes. But when it really comes down to crunch time, can he make that game winning play? We have yet to see it. He has had multiple chances against the Chiefs. Now, I'll say this. The one knock on him is that the 13-second game against Kansas City. He made all those plays. His defense screwed him in the end. You can't put that loss on him. His team should have won that game. But all these other games where he has a chance when the lights are on bright, he doesn't get it done. And as much as I like the guy, you you have to knock him for it. I can't make any excuses for him. I just can't. You were the reigning league MVP this year, and I mean you had a decent year, but enough's enough, man. And I like Angel said, I love seeing a player show passion at a post game presser like he did. It shows him weakness and vulnerability. Granted, I'm going to put the blame on him and the head coach for this game, but at the same time, I still respect the guy. Because, I mean, if he has a little help somewhere else, they probably get this dub. But even with that being said, they still should have won the game regardless. Um, and when I say that he misplays this game, I'm going to go to this. Before we even get to the controversial part in OT, he had a chance to win the game when they were driving down the field to end regulation. A touchdown would have won them the game. It was a third down play. He has his tight end not streaking, but running diagonal across the field. He hits him at the 5-yard line in between the safety and the corner. The dude is wide open. No pressure was on Josh either. He just missed him. He hits that play. He walks into the end zone. We're not even having this conversation. The opportunity was there. He didn't capitalize on it. They kick a field goal. They go to overtime. This is where the shit gets dicey. Denver wins the toss. They defer. Bills get the ball first. What do? They make some clutch third down plays. Josh has got him going down the field. A couple plays before the controversial play, Josh lobs the ball down the right sideline, and you can go back and watch the play. You'll probably see the clip. His receiver has his left arm being held when the receiver clearly has a step on the DB, and that ball was catchable. He's pretty much at the 1-yard line end zone when you could have thrown the flag. Did the ref throw the flag? No, they kept it in their pocket. That would have set up the Bills first and goal at the 1-yard line. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it was certain they would have scored, but at that point, you could have, at the bare minimum, kicked the field goal or at least got 6 out of it. I know both teams get a chance to possess the ball, but they would have took the lead probably right there. We're going to play the odds here. No call. We go 2 plays later, I believe. He hits Brandon Cooks up the right seam, I believe. He was one-on-one with the safety or a corner. I don't know what position the player was. And what is ruled an interception on the field by the referee is just downright ridiculous and bullshit in my eyes. Excuse my language, it's true. Because before I get into in depth on it, we see at the time we didn't know we were going to see this. The two games on Sunday featured two identical plays similar to that, where a player possesses the ball, goes down to the ground, and either one gets the ball stripped away or gets it knocked away after he's done been contacted and on the ground with the ball in his possession. In those two games, what did the refs rule on the field? Oh, it's a catch. He retained possession. He's down by contact. This game, they call it an interception on the field. What really pisses me off about it is that they barely reviewed it. McDermott had to call a timeout just to give them more time to review it, and they still kind of like fast track the review. You go look at all these angles and aspects of this replay. At this point, I'm utterly convinced that the NFL decides when and where they want to deem what a catch is, what control is, what down by contact is, because apparently what should be constant isn't. Like I just gave you a perfect example. The following day, less than 24 hours later, we have two identical plays to the first one. They call that a catch. The play in question, they call it at worst, it should have been an incomplete pass. If you want to say he didn't survive the ground, call it an incomplete pass at worst. But Brandon Cooks has possession of the ball. It's not moving. His left knee hits, his forearm hits, his butt hits. The DB touches him. By the NFL standard and rule, he is down by contact, and that is a catch. I, for the life of me, do not understand how they ruled it otherwise. I don't get the expedited review process. It makes no sense to me. And as a result, the Bills pretty much have to give away the ball because of a turnover yet again. The Broncos get the ball. Nix leads them down the field. And this is the other thing about this game that pisses me off. For the most part, they let pretty much all playoffs, wouldn't you guys agree? They've been letting these teams play. You're getting away with a lot more contact, and that's what I like to see in the playoffs. You know, leave the flags in your pocket. If it's an egregious play where somebody just tackles them to prevent them from getting the football, of course, throw the flag. 2019 New Orleans, but I digress. They decide to throw three flags on the overtime possession for the Broncos, where one, you kept the flag in your pocket on the first one for Denver. That should have been called. But yet on this one, you call three fouls on the Bills. Now, the first two, I wouldn't have thrown a flag. I think that was kind of BS. They should have let him play. I mean, it's really not that forcible contact. Now, the last one and the deciding one, yes. After I've watched it a few times, you throw the flag on that. I mean, he pretty much got dragged down. He got there early. That is pass interference by the rule. Even with all that being said, those plays should have never came into question because I think the refs screwed the Bills. Now, people are making the argument that, you know, Josh should have made the plays before all that. Yes, and I completely agree. None of this should have happened because the Bills probably should have put this game away in regulation. Josh didn't make the plays he should have. But what it boils down to is call a spade a spade. The Bills should have been the benefit of those calls. They weren't. It cost them. Uh, you know, yeah, I guess you tip your hat to the Broncos. They made the plays when they had to, even though the refs kind of helped them in a way. All in all, the Bills are moving. The Bills are going home. Broncos are moving on without their starting quarterback, who broke his ankle on the second to last play of the game. So I guess you take that with a grain of salt. But what it boils down to is that Denver doesn't have their starting quarterback going into the AFC Championship game, and this loss for the Bills got McDermott fired. And do I think McDermott needed to go? I think McDermott probably should have been let go 2 years ago, simply because the message probably in the locker room is the same thing with the Ravens. he's a good coach. He set a good culture, but at some point the message gets stale among the players. And like Greg touched on earlier, McDermott is a defensive head coach. Normally, a defensive head coach with a good quarterback and offensive mind traditionally works well, but it doesn't excuse the fact of the Bills having bad contracts on aging players on the defensive side of the ball, and they just play like utter dog shit the last 2 years. So, with that being said, I think the GM should be next to go. I think he should have been let go, but I guess that remains to be seen. Um, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the game and every situation that came out of it. It's going to lead into a very, very interesting championship Sunday weekend. Sorry to ramble on, guys, but I just had to get my thoughts.
Hey, let the people know, Rob. Let them know.
And I'm kind of holding back a little bit because you guys saw in the group chat, we're not going to discuss that. I was pretty much heated about this, and I'm not even a Bills fan. I mean, fair is fair.
No, listen, Josh did his thing.
Josh did his thing, but all I'm going to say is this, as weird as this may sound, and with all the close calls, I really do believe that was an interception after really looking back into it a bunch of times. Yes, you can say that he was coming down with it, but in all realistic, so many different angles. There's too many angles that they show where he did not have full control. And as he's coming down with, I forgot his name, with his hands also on the ball. And yes, it's the 50-50 rule. I mean, he snatched that bitch like instantly as he's going down. I get it, the 50-50 rule, but here say, I do think that was a fair call. They should have probably looked into it a little more. They did go by it really fast. But I think that was a pick. And then with the whole issue with the Bears game when that happened and how it almost happened again, but it was a more clear of a sight of a situation, you can make that call a little better. And I think that the NFL feels that they could have got it wrong and they didn't want to go through a back-to-back game with the refs. Supposedly that ref also got fired. I'm not very sure about that, but yeah.
Gentlemen, next topic. Now we got the NFC and AFC championship games. Patriots versus the Broncos and Seattle versus the Rams. And let's just piggyback off the Broncos. Between that prediction, me personally, after seeing both teams play their opponents, and as much as I want to say the Patriots could win, I feel like
I got Angel on the phone.
I feel like the brights are gonna be too light for Drake May. I think it's gonna be too bright. I think they're 1 year ahead, and this game is gonna be it. And listen, Patriots have a history with backup quarterbacks of the opposing team. You know, just
talk your shit, Angel.
It's just.
Are you Greg's ventriloquist dummy?
No,
because you're pretty much reciting the words just you said to me off camera.
Honestly, I don't know, but I just think I think it's just going to be too bright for Drake May, especially the Texas defense holding it up. And I'm not saying the Broncos defense is better, but Broncos got footage to look over right now.
I cannot believe the blasphemy I'm freaking hearing right now.
No blasphemy to that, good sir. No blasphemy.
Listen, my opinion, I think Drake May, it's a little too early. They made it. They had a good run this year, but I think Broncos are just gonna get it done, especially their defense.
I'll take over right after you, but no. Let me go.
Let him know. Let him know.
You can say your piece.
Let me say this because it's on record.
With how you're saying the lights are going to be too bright for May. When has Jared Stidham had any experience under the bright lights?
It don't matter. It don't matter.
It does matter.
It don't matter. He doesn't have the expectations the same as Drake May, and you know it. And you even said it yourself. The Patriots are a year ahead of their time.
Yes, they are.
And we know how that always goes for every single team. We can go back right now. We can pull up our phones. We can look on the internet. There's not a single team that has done it that is ahead of their time. And the only team that you could possibly say that to is the Patriots back when Brady took over. And that's because that team was already full-fledged, ready to go. This Patriots team does not have Belichick. Drake May is not Brady, and we know it. I'm not saying that the Patriots can't win this game. That is not what I'm saying. I'm sure that's not what Angel's saying. But the way that their defense has been playing and the way that their offense has been playing, they should have beat up the Chargers. They should have beat up the Texans. Now, granted, it's a backup quarterback. We understand that. He hasn't taken a snap in like 3 years. But when he did play, he has a winning record. He is a mobile quarterback. He has a full, healthy offense compared to the other two teams that the Patriots beat up on. If you break down all the information that we have, everything that is being stated, the way Drake May has been playing, you can't put the Vegas odds right now, I believe, have the Broncos still in the lead of winning this game, if I'm not mistaken.
Wrong.
Oh, well, if not, hey, like I
Patriots are
said, we
5.5
talked about this a little
road
bit off of
favorites.
camera. I said, let's place a little bet. Somebody wasn't 100% confident in this team that he's about to pick. That's all I got to say. Go ahead, Rob, take over.
You want to try and fact check me on that? Let's give all the details. I said yes. I'm not 100% confident because I'm never 100% confident in any team, and that goes with my teams. With that being said, I told you I didn't want to bet money.
Wait, I don't know where it stopped though.
It's good. It's good. Just go. Just go.
Okay, yeah. The Broncos, I think, are gonna win. There's gonna be too much spotlight on Drake May. Broncos have nothing to lose since Bo Nix tore up and fucked the shit up, and it is what it is. In the Broncos, I think, opinion, even the fans were memeing on it. That listen, we got as far as we could, so I'm going with Broncos over the Patriots on this. I think they're a year ahead.
Yeah. Unfortunately, some things did happen to the recording, guys. But yeah, we got another Broncos pick over here. Basically what Angel said. The pressure is all on New England. There's no pressure on the Broncos. They have their scapegoat. The team is better. Drake May hasn't been playing good. The Patriots offense have not been playing good. Their defense beat up the two teams that they should have beaten up. Yes, they can probably put some pressure, but Peyton, the Broncos, especially that defense, will get them turnovers. And like me and Rob have been saying, has been going the entire playoffs, the team that does the best on defense will win this game. And I don't trust the Patriots, especially when it comes down to going up against backup quarterbacks. They are 0-2 for that. Go ahead, Rob.
Are y'all done?
Yeah.
Are y'all done?
I'm done.
Y'all said y'all piece. Y'all finished?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. With that being said, both of you are now delusional. So let me say my piece. I get what y'all are saying. Y'all are making valid points, even though I think you both are fucking off of your rockers. What it boils down to me is this, and I'll make it short and sweet. I'm going with the Patriots this game for a variety of reasons, but what it boils down to me is this. I'm taking a quote unquote proven quarterback over a cold, inexperienced quarterback, even if it's on the road. Drake May has 2 playoff appearances under his belt. Jarrett Stidham has yet to start a playoff game. You're putting him in this situation in the AFC Championship game. You guys make a good point. All the pressure's on the Patriots because by definition, the Patriots shouldn't lose this game. So the Broncos are playing with house money. They have a built-in excuse if they lose, they lost their starting quarterback, whatever. But another aspect of this is that maybe it doesn't really fall on the quarterbacks. You have Mike Vrabel, a defensive coach who was known for his time in Tennessee, when he had Derrick Henry in his young years, he rode them to an AFC championship game. And I don't know about you guys, but Drake May's better than Ryan Tannehill was. And he likes to run the football. I'm not saying their running backs are what Derrick Henry was. Absolutely not. But the Bills were able to run the ball down Denver's throat, 183 yards to 70. If Vrabel can get the same production out of his two-headed monster out of the backfield, shorten the game, take the load off of Drake May, and the defense play well enough, they can win this game. They don't have to do anything fancy. I mean, they haven't done anything fancy the last 2 weeks. Quite frankly, they played two shitty offensive games, and they've done just enough. With all that being said, the Broncos do have the better defense. They have the better skill positions on offense. I just don't trust an ice cold quarterback being thrust into this situation. Now, if I'm wrong and the Broncos come out of here and just smack the shit out of the Patriots, I will sit here and eat my words that I was wrong. I just don't think I will be. And with that being said, I have to pick the Patriots. Now, will I be shocked if the Broncos win this game? No, because like Greg pointed it out, this season the Patriots are 0-2 against backup quarterbacks. It's an odd statistic, but it's true. I am on record saying that the Patriots are 1 year ahead of schedule. Could this come to bite them in the ass? Sure. But it doesn't mean that they can't make the Super Bowl and lose. So,
Who we talking about?
the Patriots.
Oh no, whoever's walking out of the AFC is losing to the NFC team.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree.
That's a motherfucking fact. The Rams
The
or the
NFC
fucking Seahawks are beating the dog shit out of either one of these two teams.
The NFC Championship is the de facto Super Bowl because the Rams would dog walk either one of these teams. I'm convinced. Even though Denver's got a good defense, they might hold the Rams in check, but I don't see them competing with the Rams. And then I don't see either one of these teams matching the Seahawks. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
That's kind of a spoiler for you guys who we think is going to win in the Super Bowl, but I digress. Bottom line is, I'm picking the Patriots. These two fools are picking the Broncos.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week about that. See, I was gonna be an Angel's ass, like I said I was going to be with the whole Bears losing, but I can't wait for next week. I got something for you, Rob. Got something for you.
Here,
If they
I got
lose,
this for you.
I got something for you. Watch. It's gonna be a
Gentlemen.
special episode next week.
Okay.
Gentlemen, last but not least, Seattle versus the Rams. After seeing the belt ass and the 49ers by Seattle, and then the Rams struggling with the Bears offensively. Greg, I'm going to start with you. Since you're the big old Seattle boy.
Well,
Do you honestly think it's going to be a close game?
yes, it's gonna be
Or
a
do you
very close
think-
game. It's gonna be a close game like the other two close games. I am worried about my Seahawks because the Rams have been beating them in every category. I do think the Rams had an issue going to Chicago. The weather kind of played a little factor. I don't think it was that big of a factor. But now that they're back home on the same time zone as that they're normally at.
Yeah, because what is it? A 45-minute drive, basically?
It's 45-minute drive, not even that. I mean,
Well, flight, I should say.
Flight. Yeah, I mean they could take their Bentleys, like people were saying. They could take the buses, the Bentleys, whatever they want to get there. I mean, I'm scared of this Puka. I'm not gonna lie to you. This man has been playing out of his mind. As long as the Seahawks can mix up their defense, which they normally do, send their blitzes and get Matthew Stafford out of the pocket, get him moving like the Bears did, but mix it up, not send the same fourth down goddamn play, third down blitz. I do believe in my team to win this game, but I do think Matthew Stafford is trying to submit his resume a little bit more, and now's the time to do it. And like I said last week, my quarterback is my quarterback. I love him, but he is a gunslinger. And that man will air that bitch out. And at the end of the day, it gets either picked or it gets caught. JSN had a quiet game last week, which was kind of scary. But I mean, again, offense didn't really have to do anything. We ran it down their throats. I think it's gonna be a close game. My guess it's probably gonna be like a 28-21 score, 28-24 score. I am gonna go with my Seahawks to win the game. But I would not be surprised if my team does win or does lose. I believe we split the series.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we played them, I mean, he did his thing. He didn't throw the ball over in the fourth quarter. Darnold did his thing, and he protected the ball. If we can protect the ball again, like this game, and just do as we always do on defense, I do think we'll win this game. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, NFC Championship, like I said earlier, the rubber match, winner goes to the Super Bowl. This is as tightly contested of a 3-game series as you could possibly ask for in the NFL. The first game was 21-19 Rams. And even in that game, Seattle had a chance to kick the game winning field goal as the horn went, and they just missed it. Second game, the Rams were controlling that game yet again, and Seattle had a miraculous 16-point comeback. They end up winning 38-37 in overtime. Total points scored the first 2 games: 58 by the Rams, 57 by Seattle. Total yards accumulated through the first 2 games: 830 for the Rams, 829 for Seattle. It is literally dead even. These two teams know each other very well. They do not like each other. They bring the best out of each other. Yes, the 2 games are this series kind of reminds me of the Bears and Packers this year. The Packers kind of controlled the first 2 games. They got the win in the first one, and then they let the second one slip away. Same thing with the Bears and the Packers. The Bears got owned the first game, had a chance to win it. They didn't. Got picked off in the end zone. Second game, Green Bay had complete control. They gave it away. Is the third game in this series going to play out just how that one was? A classic. Uh, Darnold in the first game threw for 279 yards. Now, granted, in the first meeting, he threw 4 interceptions, no touchdowns. Uh, with that being said, they still had a chance to win. Second game, he threw for 244, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Took better care of the ball, led his team on a comeback. Stafford's been dealing in this series. First game, he only threw for $130, but he had 2 touchdowns, no picks. Second game, 457 and 3 touchdowns, but still took a loss. This game is going to boil down to, for me, who's going to run the ball better, and if Sam Darnold can just protect the football. If Seattle's defense plays like we've known them to play all year, and at least just contain the Rams, Sam Darnold doesn't turn the ball over, and they get that running game going, I think they can pull this game out. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'd be shocked if the Rams would win because the Rams controlled both games prior. But my gut is just telling me that with the way the Rams finished the regular season and these 2 playoff games they played against Carolina and Chicago, they've been on the road both times. Something's just telling me that, yeah, even though they're flying 45 minutes up north, maybe the travel is just finally getting to them and the rigors of the season, especially the last month of the season, is finally getting to them. Unless Stafford and Puka go off, I don't see them winning this game. I just don't. Seattle's got all the momentum, belt to ass to the Niners. They're riding high. They haven't struggled. The Rams have had to fight for both their wins. I'm picking the hot hand. I think Seattle's representing the NFC in the Super Bowl.
My prediction? I'm gonna go with the Rams.
You're a bitch.
going for the Rams.
You are a baby back bitch.
You
I
are
think
the only Bears fan I know going for the Rams after they just won that game.
The Rams. They're they're
Who
coming
does
for
that?
revenge.
Who does that? Who picks for the team that just beat their team?
I'm
Him?
just no. I'm just seeing. I go based off what I see, and the Rams. No, they're coming. They're coming. They're
The
coming.
Rams are
Seattle.
coming. So hold on.
They
Let me ask you a
want
question.
revenge.
Let me ask you a question.
What
A
would you like to
realistical
ask me?
question. If the
Sure.
Bears would have won that game, you think you would beat the Seahawks?
The Bears?
Yes.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
You see there, that's what we call a delusional fan. A delusional Bears fan. A
Listen, I'm just
delusional
going off of-
Chicago fan.
I'm just going off
Chicago fan. Let me
what I
speak
seen,
properly.
No. If you're gonna say it right. A Chicago fan.
You're right. You're right.
Listen. I think the Rams are gonna want revenge for what happened last time in Seattle, and I think it's gonna be a close game. I think.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you think the Rams defense was playing bad, missing tackles? As we were watching that game together, do you think they were missing tackles? Horribly. You don't think they were not at the D line, not stopping the run. I'm talking off of slants, off of wide receiver passes. I'm talking missing tackles. Did you not hear me complain about that?
I think. Well,
yes
you
or
just
no
gotta
question.
remember, everyone.
Yes or no question.
Say no.
You're gonna say no. Okay. All right.
The reason why is because everyone thought that game was going to be high scoring. Everyone thought it's going to be best off the runs, off the throws, but both defenses on that game showed up.
No. The Bears' offense did not show up. Shall we go through the stats? Shall I pull them up? Loveland, who you want to claim as a baby Gronk, went 4 for 10.
To me,
4 for 10. The only one that played good for you guys was DJ Moore.
I didn't say it.
DJ Moore
Yeah, the one that you want to blame the loss on.
He was your best receiver. He missed 2 passes only.
He's a
not
rookie.
Including the one that Caleb wanted to launch in front of him.
He's a rookie.
Not to mention
Who's
your
a rookie?
savior, your Iceman. He threw interceptions.
Hold on. You want to call him Baby Gronk. Others want to call him Baby Gronk. You said it yourself.
Tom Brady
you
said
agreed
it.
with him.
You did say it.
You agreed with Brady. You agreed with Brady.
Who
is your best receiver in your mind, including tight ends, wide receiver or tight end? Who is your best receiver in your opinion?
It should have been DJ Moore.
It should have been DJ Moore. So who do you think is your second best?
Dunze.
You think Dunze is your second? So where do you rank Loveland? Third. So your first shows up. Your second doesn't show up. You speak highly on your third. Yeah. And he doesn't show up.
Loveland, Superman.
Superman went 4 for 10. That's not even. He went 40%. That's an F. Failure.
Your whole argument is collapsing under itself, Angel.
Listen, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out this weekend.
We are gonna find
Rams. And if the Rams beat Seattle, it's gonna be a great topic to talk about.
I said that the Seahawks have a good chance. I don't trust my quarterback. I have the courage to say that my quarterback is a gunslinger and he likes to launch that bitch. I know that for a fact. He's been doing it all year. He's like 28 touchdowns for like 14 interceptions. That's crazy numbers. I know that for a fact. But I'm not delusional like Cowboys fans, 49er fans, and now these Chicago Bears fans. You got one man that's getting lucky on so many game-winning drives, and he did it. You won the game. But you would have lost to Green Bay if there was no injuries. You got smacked by Detroit all year, and Green Bay just doesn't know how to finish. And now we can go look at all the easy games that you guys had throughout the year. And don't get me wrong, you guys won. You guys did your thing. I applaud Chicago. They finally got somewhere. The question is, can they stay there? You guys got to now re-sign about 3-year defensive players.
Listen, that's not though.
And
We're
then
talking about that. We're talking
You
about
gotta
the
re-sign
Rams
3-year
and
defensive
Seattle.
players.
No,
And then come
listen, we
2028,
already
you
went to
got
Chicago
DJ's
already.
contracts going up. He's at 110. You got Loveland's contract coming up. He's at 26 right now.
Someone
You
sounds
got
scared
got
right now.
Rome.
you got Rome, who's at like
Someone sounds
14 right
scared.
now. Woo! You guys are looking at about 200 mil
Listen.
plus. And then Caleb, he's looking for that top dollar. What's the QB market at right now, Rob?
The top quarterbacks right now are getting paid $60 million a year.
Woo! You guys are looking at 80 with him. You know the boys are gonna want. That's about 400 mil right there. Y'all ain't gonna be able to do that. You got your O-line you gotta take care of.
We're not talking about the contracts right now. We're talking about the Rams versus Seattle. You're going
my
off topic right here, but
My apologies.
listen.
Hey, I said it. I would not be surprised if my team lose. It comes down to my quarterback protecting the ball. That's what it comes down to.
Rams are going to be hungry for revenge.
For revenge? They didn't even lose last game badly.
Well,
they said, hey, look, 49ers said the same thing, bud. You saw those press conferences? Those DBs were like, oh, we want the smoke. What happened?
Oh, wait,
well, they got it and then some.
Belt to ass.
Listen, we got to end this soon. And all I'm going to say is, last thing, is if Stafford could come to Chicago and defeat Iceman, he'd definitely beating Seattle. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today. I'd like to thank y'all for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. And we shall talk to y'all later.
I got nothing.